This is the morning edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Friday, April 24th. I'm James Spann. The day will be dry. Rain and storms arriving tonight and some risk of severe weather tomorrow. We'll try and define the risk and talk about the timing here as we go. So let's dive into it. The subtropical jet stream coming into play. You can see that feature pushing high-level moisture up into Texas and parts of the Deep South, out in advance of a trough in the southwest United States. But for the morning, we're pretty cool to start the day. No storms with numbers like that. Look at Fort Payne at 37, Cullman at 42, Birmingham 54. We'll expect a high in the low and mid-70s today, maybe a little sunshine at times. Up north, freeze warnings. For parts of Kentucky, Ohio, some of the adjacent states, frost warnings down into middle and eastern Tennessee. Severe weather possibilities later today and tonight west of the state for the most part. We have enhanced risks. One includes Dallas-Fort Worth and Texarkana. Another one includes parts of Kansas. We have a slight risk, the standard risk into southwest Mississippi, and a marginal risk over the western half of Alabama. That's for the storms that move in here tonight. Keep in mind, this outlook runs through 7 a.m. tomorrow. And then during the day tomorrow and tomorrow night, we have an enhanced risk over extreme North Alabama and a pretty good chunk of Tennessee and parts of Kentucky. That would include Scottsboro, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Paducah, Kentucky. The standard slight risk for the rest of Alabama and the adjacent states. And, of course, we'll focus on this situation here as we go along. On day 3, which is Sunday, interesting to note, the SPC guys have a marginal risk for about the southern two-thirds of Alabama, the standard slight risk well to the west. And on day 4, which is Monday, a risk of severe weather for parts of East Texas and South Louisiana. Overall rain for the next 5 days, valid through Wednesday morning of next week. This is suggesting rain amounts of about 2 inches here. But let's see if we can answer your questions. Let's go. The GFS, this is the 06E run valid today at 1 o'clock local time. This is at 500 millibars. You can see the troughing lifting out of the southwest. And again, the day today should be dry. I'd say a mix of sun and clouds with a high in the low and mid-70s today. So if you need to do something during the day, you should be okay. Got a surface low developing on the Kansas-Colorado border. But a warm front will be lifting north tonight. Now, all of a sudden, we're starting to see evidence the rain could be coming in as early as maybe even late afternoon. This is the HRRR, the high-res HER model, valid at 6 o'clock, and it's got the rain already coming down at Birmingham and Tuscaloosa and Anniston and Gadsden. So the events tonight are clearly at risk of some rain issues here. We have a lot of spring sports, baseball, softball. Just a lot of things are happening, but unfortunately, it looks as though now the rain could begin this evening, and it continues throughout the night. This is 4 a.m. tomorrow, and this is the high-res NAM. And understand, these are going to be loud, but this stuff should be elevated, not really rooted in the boundary layer. So severe weather, not expected. Could there be a strong storm? Yes. There's always the chance of a surprise, but for now, we don't expect any organized severe weather. The rain could be clearly heavy early tomorrow morning, but we'll watch radar trends carefully. And what's going to happen, this MCS moves on by mid-morning, and then there should be a break in the rain. Now, this is the synoptic scale off the GFS tomorrow at 1. You can see the setup. The surface low is near St. Louis, 995 millibars. And again, I do think a pretty good chunk of the day tomorrow will be dry. The sun breaks out. It's going to look nice. We'll rise up into the low and maybe mid-80s. It'll be very warm, but of course that makes the air unstable. And the question is, can other storms develop during the peak of the daytime heating process? This is the high-resolution NAM at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. And you can see it's suggesting there could be a few storms that form. And here's the thing I want to stress also. Not everybody, I think, is going to see a late afternoon storm. After the morning storm, some places in Alabama could be dry for the rest of the day tomorrow and tomorrow night. But where the storms develop, they could be severe. And this is hinting maybe Birmingham to Gadsden to Cedar Bluff. The radar will not look like that. This is just model output. But wherever those storms form, they could be severe. Let's look at some of the severe weather parameters. This is the surface-based CAPE. Where you see the shades of red, that's over 3,000 joules per kilogram, and certainly that is very robust, the most unstable air we have seen so far this year. This is the the storm relative helicity in the lower levels between 0 and 1 kilometers. And you can see that, again, there's certainly sufficient shear for rotating updrafts. Wind fields are pretty strong. Again, this is not overwhelming, but it's certainly sufficient for severe weather. The 40-knot range through here. This is the low-level jet, 5,000 feet off the ground, where the pressure is 850 millibars. And again, this is the number that's pretty impressive. The Energy Helicity Index, the EHI values, are ramping up to over 5 units. In fact, over 6 units up around Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, again, let me kind of go through the deal again. Rain and storms overnight tonight. That big batch of rain will end tomorrow morning. The middle of the day should be dry. The sun breaks out, we warm up. I want to stress that. And then late tomorrow, new storms develop in scattered spots. It will not rain everywhere, but where the storms do develop, they could be severe with potential for large hail, damaging wind, and an isolated tornado or two. And needless to say, just be sure you can hear watches and warnings and hope that you don't see a storm tomorrow afternoon. Not everybody will. All right, Sunday, everything's out of here. The northern half of the state should be dry, and it could be pretty warm. I note the NAM is showing 86 for the high on Sunday. And there's going to be maybe a surface boundary somewhere across central Alabama. Below that, maybe some scattered storms for the southern half of the state. I think the northern counties will be dry. Now, Monday, here comes our next system to the west. A surface low develops south of Lubbock. I think Monday will stay dry, with a high perhaps in the upper 70s. And this is Tuesday. A pretty nice little shortwave comes out. But again, this run is trending weaker, and the surface low is farther south. And really, this is suggesting maybe Tuesday could start dry, with rain maybe moving in by Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday night. And this is Wednesday. You can see the surface low well to the south, over 1,000 millibars, but that looks wet. So rain middle of next week. Perhaps late Tuesday night, Wednesday. Severe weather chances look very low at this point as the surface low tracks down to the south. And then Thursday, we're back in dry air. Should be a nice day. And this is a week from today. Troughing in the east, a nice stable dry air mass. Here's the end of the forecast. This is Sunday, May 3rd. Again, troughing over the east. And again, that looks nice and dry. Temperatures off the ensembles for the next 15 days. You can see those low 80s in here over the weekend. We cool down for the middle of next week and then go back in the low 80s toward the first part of May, which is about what you expect in May in Alabama. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.